This election comes at an incredibly fractious time in the US. People are fed up with socialism for the wealthy and rugged individualism for the working poor. Incomes for the bottom 99% of the country have been drying up, taking along with it the American dream, while the wealthiest are fueling a boom in the building of super yachts. Even the language is diverging. In the bottom half of the country, people talk about NASCAR and working overtime. In the top 1%, people talk about equestrian programs and offshore investment vehicles. So, who have the bottom half elected? Mr. Burns with hair. This election poses a choice between Hillary Clinton, a woman with all the human warmth of Leonard's mother on the Big Bang Theory or one of the Borg, and on the other hand, Donald Trump, a cross between Mussolini and Idiocracy, who looks like a 70-year-old baby who's just eaten someone else's poo. On the one hand, Hillary is smart and experienced and capable and boring and uninspiring and dull. And on the other hand, we have Donald grab him by the pussy Trump, a billionaire blowhard buffoon with a bouffant hairdo who's definitely not dull. Scary, but not dull. This has been the most divisive, lowbrow, uncivilized, and for an American, embarrassing election ever. But it has been exciting and educational. For instance, I never knew a weasel could look so much like an orangutan. And I have learned that part of Trump's genius is telling dumb people that they're smart using little words. And no matter how stupid, no matter how inane the claims are that come out of Donald Trump's mouth, people believe him. For example, he's promised to build a wall across the entire US southern border to keep out those dirty, rapist, murdering Mexicans, and then get Mexico to pay for it. Mexican president heard that and went, yeah, that's not going to happen. But even if Mexico did build it, there'd just be doors. And Trump has said, it's going to be the greatest. It's going to be the greatest wall ever built. And I know walls. Really, Donald? Because what about the Great Wall of China? Also, Trump said that no one is ever going to be able to get over his 30-foot high wall. But I think that's just going to create a boom in the sale of 31-foot ladders. I've also learned that there's a part of me that wants Trumpkin to win. But by the way, a Trumpkin is when you take a pumpkin and you carve it into a jack-o'-lantern, and you take a bird's nest and you put it on top for hair, and then you take a goat's asshole and you use that for a mouth. But anyway, so there's a part of me, and I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but there's a part of me that wants Trumpkin to win. It's the same part of me that likes to see a bomb go off or watch a building burn down with people in it. It's kind of like bonfire of the inanities. And I just can't get over that no matter how ridiculous are the things that Trump says, people still believe him. PolitiFact checked Donald Trump's statements and found that only 2% of what he said was true, while 51% of what Donald Trump said was either false or liar, liar, pants on fire wrong. It was just the opposite for Hillary. Fully half of her statements are true, and yet she's the one with the reputation for lying, and he's the one with the reputation for telling the truth, for telling it like it is. Part of the right-wing echo chamber in the US is a philosophy that believes that they just repeat something over and over and over and over again, it'll somehow become true. It's like the belief that if there's smoke, there's fire. But actually with the right wing in the US, If there's smoke, there's a room full of mirrors that go right along with that smoke. The right-wing attack dogs have been going after Hillary for 24 years. I'm not really sure why they hate her so much, but I think it has something to do with they really hate women and they really, really, really hate smart women. And if you're ever wondering about that, the right-wing's hatred of women explains their stance on abortion. I mean, in general, they're not pro-life, they're pro-death. They like the death penalty. They like war. They like police shootings. And man, do they love guns. And they hate poor people having access to doctors, even pregnant people, to get prenatal care for those unborn babies they claim to love so much. So why does the right wing hate abortion? Because the chance to ruin one more woman's life is so much more valuable to them than just one more death. Another reason that Trump is doing so well is probably because he is so incredibly positive. Everything in Trump's world is great or fantastic. A study found that the candidate that is most positive usually wins. Trump has definitely gotten that message. He thinks Mexicans love him and that he gets along great with the blacks. He's great. He's fantastic. He's amazing. He has the best plan. Those are the sort of things Hillary says, and that Trump says. And Hillary is doing herself no favors by not calling him out on his bullshit. In at least one of the debates, just once, at least once, she should have said something along the lines of, Donald, I know you say you've got the best plan. You want to cut taxes on the super rich, turn the United States into a police state, and spend a lot of money on weapons, and yet somehow magically make the economy grow. Independent analysts say your plan won't work. You might as well say you have a plan to become a trillionaire, live to be 150, and learn to fly by flapping your arms. But that's not a plan, Donald. That's a fantasy. Your plan would work out, for the economy, would work out about as well as your plans for Trump Steaks, or Trump University, or Trump Airlines, or Trump Magazine, or Trump Mortgage, or Trump Network, or GoTrump.com, or my favorite, the Tour de Trump. If you haven't heard of those, ladies and gentlemen, that's because they all failed. But Hillary didn't do that. The sad thing is how this election is almost totally devoid of reason. I think we may have entered a post-rational dystopia. The Republicans in the US have been busy working to take away Democrats' right to vote. So what does Trump say? He says that the voting system is rigged against him. Well, it is rigged, but in Trump's favor. He accuses Hillary of cheating, but he's the one benefiting from information hacked from the Democratic National Committee by Trump's favorite dictator, Vladimir Putin. I'm getting to the point where I think if it wasn't for hypocrisy, Trump wouldn't have anything left to say. This would all be very amusing if it didn't matter so much. If Hillary wins, things will pretty much stay as they are in the US. The president will try to get stuff done, and the right-wing lunatics in Congress will obstruct everything. But if Trump wins, holy shit. The first question is, where is he starting the first war? And you can say goodbye to the ice caps because Trump thinks that global warming is a Chinese conspiracy and wants to burn a lot of coal and frack and burn oil like it's going out of style and have the US pull out of all efforts to control CO2 emissions. Not only that, goodbye Obamacare and goodbye taxes for the rich and goodbye, hope for the future. The only good thing I can think is that if Trump wins this election, there will be a big growth in the political satire industry. I'm David Mulholland. Thank you very much.